Harry Mason is an ordinary guy, a writer at heart who keeps himself to himself. He can be shy around other people and can be clumsy at times, but he makes up for that with his determination and care for others. When he was 25, Harry Mason and his wife Jodie adopted a baby that they had found on the side of a road. This baby was named Cheryl Mason. After finding Cheryl and caring for her for some time, Jodie suffered from a fatal disease which left Harry alone to raise her. Despite falling into deep grief over his wife's death, his protective nature for his daughter always took priority. Now at 32 years old, Harry took his daughter on a vacation to the town of Silent Hill. She repeatedly asked him to go there. However, whilst driving to the town, Harry lost control of his car after seeing a teenage girl just stood in the road. Harry wakes up after the crash to find that Cheryl is now missing. He sets out to search for her and quickly realises that the town of Silent Hill is plagued by a mysterious fog and is seemingly abandoned. Harry finds that fog isn't the only thing sweeping across town, but horrifying creatures roam these dark streets and alleyways too, including hanging bodies. Harry is then jumped by these weird creatures and drops as his vision fades to black. He then wakes up in Cafe 5-2. His recent sight of creatures in an alleyway was just a nightmare. However, his daughter's disappearance is still very real. It's in this cafe where Harry meets Sybil Bennett, a police officer from the nearby town of Brams who also feels lost in Silent Hill. Harry is the only person she has seen and understands his desperation to find his daughter. She even gives Harry a pistol before he sets off to find Cheryl.
Now listen to me. Before you pull the trigger, know who you're shooting.
As he searches for her, Harry discovers that the town is connected to a cult called The Order, which worships a deity called Samael. He learns this when he speaks with Dahlia Gillespie, a strange woman who is found at Balkan Church. And regardless of Dahlia's preaches, Harry only cares about finding his daughter. Dahlia says he must follow the path before it's too late, and Harry must go to the hospital.
You must follow the path. Make haste to the hospital before it's too late.
Although she does look absolutely mental, Dahlia seems to be right as Harry goes to the hospital and finds other people, including Michael Kaufman and Lisa Garland. I'll be making more videos on these characters soon enough. Throughout Harry's journey, he wakes back up at the hospital, and with each visit he learns more about the town from Lisa, who is slowly beginning to recall her past memories. Harry uncovers that Cheryl is linked to Silent Hill and The Order, and that she is somehow connected to the appearance of the monsters that haunt the town. But how can an abandoned baby be responsible for Silent Hill's nightmare? Well, Harry learns that the girl in the road who he almost hit, the one that caused him to crash and subsequently lose Cheryl, is Dahlia's daughter Alessa. Alessa was bound to Alchemilla Hospital basement after becoming a sacrifice to the Order as the mother of a new god. It is believed that Alessa wasn't born, but rather created through magical conjuration, and as a result, the seed of an embryonic god was created within her. When bound to the hospital basement, she prevented the birth of this new god by splitting her soul in half.
Everything is going according to plan, sheltered in the womb.
But it's not done yet. Half the soul is lost. That is why the seed lies dormant. But the power we could draw now will be very weak. Almost nothing. Unless we get the other half of the soul.
This means that one half of the soul is Alessa, and the other half is another being. That being, of course, is Cheryl Mason. Harry now understands that the reason Cheryl wanted to come to Silent Hill was actually her soul's instinct to find its other half, which is Alessa. The events of Silent Hill continue to unfold, and Harry sees Alessa throughout, who somehow manages to disappear without a trace. Harry eventually finds Dahlia, who is stood over Alessa. Dahlia is pleased with the souls now being together, and Harry is confused and still wondering where Cheryl is. Dahlia explains that Alessa is Cheryl. She then goes on to explain to Harry what's happening and why Cheryl is important to the Order.
It's been a long 7 years. For the 7 years since that terrible day, Alessa has been kept alive, suffering a fate worse than death. Alessa has been trapped in an endless nightmare from which she never awakens. He has been nurtured by that nightmare, waiting for the day to be born. That day has finally come. My daughter will be the mother of God!
Now that Alessa and Cheryl's souls have fused together, a new being is created called the Incubator, who has formed with the god fetus inside of her, which has been maturing over the last 7 years. The Incubator is this glowing angelic woman. Michael Kaufman walks in and shoots Dahlia. He says that nobody uses him and he wants everything to go back to how they were before.
Did I ask for this? Nobody uses me. You won't get away with this.
Just a side note for now, there is an entire plot and relationship between Kaufman and The Order, which I'll be sure to cover in another video. He then reveals a bright red substance called 𝗩𝗂𝗍𝗄𝗃, which has been used to produce PTV, a popular drug in Silent Hill used for its hallucinogenic properties, but it also seems to affect the birthing of this god. Kaufman throws the 𝗩𝗂𝗍𝗄𝗃 over the Incubator, expelling a monster known as the Incubus. The Incubus hatches and kills Dahlia using its bright, powerful lightning and begins to tower over Harry. The Incubus is Harry's final battle in Silent Hill, and presumably the way he gets his daughter back. Harry defeats the Incubus, who collapses in front of him and transforms back into the Incubator, as the world around him starts to crumble in flames and the otherworld nightmare breaks down into nothing. The Incubator creates a baby, which is the reincarnation of Alessa and Cheryl's soul, together now as one being. A portal then opens for Harry to escape with the newborn baby in his arms. Oh, and how could I forget, in the good plus ending of Silent Hill, Harry also escapes the nightmare with 𝗁𝗂. So, in his journey, he was able to save 𝗁𝗂, find and rescue Cheryl and Alessa, as they have been fused into this new reincarnated baby. What a man! There are 2 good endings that you could possibly consider canon. One where Harry safely makes it to the highway on the outskirts of Silent Hill and begins to stare up at the night sky, shocked with an expression that basically says, "Mate, what the f*** just happened?" And in the good plus ending, 𝗁𝗂 escapes with Harry like I previously mentioned, but she also replaces Jodie in a reimagined scene of the game's opening. There's also a bad ending for Harry, one where he doesn't find Cheryl and she is lost to the Order,
Harry.
and another where Harry is dead. That said, these endings aren't considered canon based on later events in the series. Harry began looking after this new baby, but he often resented it. Remember, he had to lose his daughter Cheryl in order for this reincarnated baby to even exist. He named this new baby Cheryl in honour of his previous daughter who he lost to the fog of Silent Hill, and to his late wife who chose this name for the daughter that they found together. He realised though that naming the baby Cheryl Mason was a mistake. The Order is still out there despite Harry's final fight, and they plan to abduct this reincarnated baby as this is still the child who is able to birth their new god. There was even one instance where Harry had to kill a cult member in self-defense after they tried to kidnap Cheryl. Harry was acquitted in court and had to relocate to Portland where he would hide from the Order. To keep Cheryl safe, Harry dyed her hair brunette to blonde and renamed her from Cheryl to Heather. These two later moved to Daisy Villa Apartments, where Harry was set on protecting her and raising her all by himself. 12 years on, Harry is 49 and Heather is 17, and they continue to look out for each other. We see this when we find Heather running errands for her father at the Central Square shopping centre. But while she is here, Heather finds that the world around her begins to change into this other world, quite like Harry saw in Silent Hill. She eventually exits this otherworld and finds herself back on the main roads, where things seem normal. Anyways, she continues her journey to Bergen Street, where we find Daisy Villa Apartments, where she and Harry lives. Heather walks in and obviously instantly tells her dad what has happened at the mall, this otherworld journey that she's been on, but as she steps closer to her dad, she finds that he's now dead in his chair. Not peacefully, mind you. By the looks of things, Harry has been murdered. So what exactly happened to Harry? Well, the Order were still out looking for Cheryl, who now goes by Heather, and it seems that time has caught up with her and Harry. One of the members of the Order, Claudia Wolf, is found on the rooftops of the apartments. Obviously enraged at discovering her father was killed, Heather demands that she tells her why Harry was murdered. Claudia says this was payback.
Revenge for 17 years ago, for one thing. If not for him, our dream would have come true. And then he took you away from us.
From here, Heather's horrific journey continues without her father. There are references to Harry throughout her experience in Silent Hill, including a memo written by him and an otherworld version of his bedroom. But since his death, he isn't seen again. At the end of her story, Heather decides to completely drop her fake identity and proudly go by the name her father gave her.
You don't have to call me that. I'm not hiding anymore.
Want me to use your real name? What was it again?
Cheryl. The name my father gave me.
And Cheryl then gives Harry a proper burial that he would have wanted. For those of you who miss Harry, there is a secret ending to Silent Hill 3 by way of another playthrough, where we see him destroy Silent Hill alongside his alien friends. Harry's story is a case of wrong place, wrong time. He could have never adopted this baby or not found it in the first place. In reality, Harry did find the baby, and from the moment he did, he provided safety and security for her, fighting everything in his path just to get her back. And that is his history in Silent Hill.